What if I told you that you could shift from your current reality to your desired reality in the time it takes to drink a glass of water? What if there was a simple physical ritual that could help you quantum jump from the timeline where you're struggling to the timeline where you already have what you want? Today we're talking about one of the simplest yet most powerful manifestation techniques I've ever come across. It's called the two-cup method. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to explain exactly what it is, why it works from a quantum physics perspective, and how to do it step by step so you can try it tonight. This technique has helped people shift jobs, relationships, financial situations, health conditions, entire life circumstances in a matter of days or weeks. And it takes 5 minutes. All right, so before I give you the method, let me explain the quantum physics theory behind why this works. Because if you understand the why, the how becomes exponentially more powerful. In quantum mechanics, there's a concept called the many worlds interpretation. It suggests that all possible versions of reality exist simultaneously. There's a version of reality where you're wealthy, a version where you're in your dream relationship, a version where you're healthy and thriving, a version where you have the job you want. All of these realities, these timelines, exist right now as quantum possibilities in what's called the quantum field, or the field of infinite potential. You're currently experiencing one specific timeline, one specific version of reality. Not because it's the only one that exists, but because it's the one your consciousness is tuned to. It's the one you're observing, identifying with, and therefore experiencing. But here's the key. You can shift timelines. You can move your consciousness from the timeline where you don't have what you want to the timeline where you already do. This is called quantum jumping. And while it sounds like science fiction, it's actually based on real quantum principles about parallel possibilities and observer-dependent reality. The two-cup method is a physical ritual that helps your consciousness make that jump. It's a symbolic act that signals to your subconscious mind, we're moving from this reality to that reality. We're jumping timelines right now. So here's how the method works. It's beautifully simple. You need 2 cups or glasses, some water, 2 pieces of paper or tape, and a pen. That's it. On the first piece of paper, you write your current reality, your current state, where you are right now that you want to shift from. For example, unemployed or single or struggling financially or living with anxiety or stuck in unfulfilling job. Be specific but concise. This label represents the timeline you're currently on. On the second piece of paper, you write your desired reality, the state you want to shift into, the timeline you want to jump to. For example, employed at dream job, or in loving relationship, or financially abundant, or peaceful and confident, or thriving in perfect career. Again, specific but concise. This label represents the timeline you're moving to. Now you take your 2 cups. Fill the first cup, the one representing your current reality, with water. Leave the second cup, your desired reality, empty. The water represents your consciousness, your energy, your life force. Right now, it's in the current reality cup. It's filling that timeline. That's why you're experiencing it. Place the labels on the cups. Current reality on the full cup. Desired reality on the empty cup. Here's where the magic happens. You're going to pour the water from the current reality cup into the desired reality cup. But you're not just physically pouring water. You're performing a quantum ritual. You're symbolically moving your consciousness from one timeline to another. As you pour, you focus completely on the shift happening. You feel yourself leaving the old reality and entering the new one. You see the water, your consciousness transferring from the state you don't want, the state you do want. And then you drink the water from the desired reality cup. You literally consume your new reality. You take it into your body, you make it part of you. That's the method. Simple, physical, symbolic, powerful. Now let me explain why this works on multiple levels. First, from a quantum perspective, you're collapsing a new timeline through focused observation and intention. Your observation creates reality. In this ritual, you're intensely observing and intending your desired timeline, which helps collapse that possibility into your experience. Second, from a neurological perspective, you're creating a pattern interrupt. Your brain has been running the same neural pathways associated with your current reality for days, months, maybe years. This ritual physically disrupts that pattern and creates a new reference point. Your brain experiences a clear before and after. Old reality, new reality. Timeline A, timeline B. Third, from a subconscious programming perspective, your subconscious mind thinks in symbols and rituals. It doesn't understand abstract concepts well, but it understands concrete actions. When you physically pour water from one labeled cup to another, your subconscious gets the message loud and clear. We're changing states, we're moving realities. This is happening now. Fourth, from a psychological perspective, this ritual creates a definitive moment of decision and commitment. You're not just wishing or hoping anymore. You're declaring, I am shifting from this to that, right now. This act of decision activates something in your consciousness that passive wanting never does. And fifth, from an energetic perspective, if you believe in such things, you're performing a transmutation. You're taking the energy that was locked in the old pattern and consciously redirecting it into the new pattern. The water is the carrier, the intention is the force, the cups are the containers of different realities. All of these mechanisms working together create a powerful shift in your state of being. And your state of being determines what you experience. Let me give you some real examples of how people have used this. I know someone who was stuck in a job they hated for 3 years. They did the 2-cup method with stuck in unfulfilling job and working in dream creative career. Within 2 weeks, they got a random message from an old colleague about an opening at a company they'd always wanted to work for. They applied, interviewed, and got the job. They're convinced the 2-cup method created the shift that opened that door. Another person was struggling with chronic anxiety and insomnia. They did the method with anxious and sleepless and calm and rested. That very night they slept better than they had in months, not perfectly, but noticeably better. And over the next week, their anxiety levels dropped significantly. They said it felt like they'd stepped into a parallel version of themselves who didn't carry that constant tension. Someone else was in a complicated, painful relationship situation. They did the 2-cup method with confused and stuck in toxic dynamic and clear and unhealthy loving relationship. Within days, the toxic relationship naturally ended with surprising ease, and within a month they met someone new who embodied everything they'd written on that second cup. Now, I'm not saying the 2-cup method is magic that overrides all natural laws. What I am saying is that it creates a powerful internal shift that changes how you show up, what you notice, what opportunities you're open to, and which timeline you're energetically aligned with. And when you shift internally, your external reality has no choice but to reorganize itself to match. So let me walk you through the exact step-by-step process so you can do this yourself. Get 2 cups or glasses. They don't have to be special or fancy, just 2 containers that can hold water. Get 2 sticky notes, pieces of paper, or tape and a pen. On the first label, write your current unwanted state. Be honest. Be specific. This is the timeline you're leaving. Examples: broke and stressed about money, or lonely and single, or overweight and tired, or stuck in this city. On the second label, write your desired state, the timeline you're jumping to. Make it positive, present tense, and specific. Examples: financially abundant and relaxed, or loved and in relationship, or healthy and energized, or living in your dream city or dream house. Attach the first label to the first cup. Attach the second label to the second cup. Fill the first cup, current reality, with clean water. Leave the second cup, desired reality, empty. Now find a quiet moment. You don't need an elaborate setup, just a few minutes of focused attention. Hold both cups, look at them, really see the labels. The full cup is your current timeline. The empty cup is your desired timeline. Take a breath, center yourself. This is a sacred moment. You're about to shift realities. Slowly, intentionally, pour the water from the current reality cup into the desired reality cup. As you pour, feel the shift happening. See your consciousness, your energy, your life force moving from the old state to the new state, from the unwanted timeline to the desired timeline. You might say something in your mind or out loud, like, I am leaving this reality and entering this new reality. I am shifting from my current state to my desired reality. The jump is happening now. Pour until all the water has transferred. The old cup is now empty. The new cup is now full. Your consciousness has moved. The quantum jump has occurred. Now pick up the desired reality cup. Look at the label. Feel what it would feel like if this were your reality right now. And drink the water. Slowly, mindfully. You are consuming your new reality. You are taking it into your body. You are making it part of you. With each sip, affirm internally, I am this now. This is my reality now. I have jumped timelines. Drink all of it. When you're done, the ritual is complete. You've jumped. You're now on the new timeline. Now, here's what's important after you do the two-cup method. You don't keep doing it over and over for the same thing. You do it once with full conviction, and then you live from the new timeline. If you keep repeating the ritual, you're signaling to your subconscious that you're still in the old reality trying to get to the new one. That's not quantum jumping, that's staying stuck. You do it once, you jump, and then you embody the new state, which means after the ritual, you think from the new timeline, you feel from the new timeline, you act from the new timeline. If you jump to financially abundant, you stop obsessing about money, you stop acting from scarcity, you move through your day as someone who is abundant. If you jump to in loving relationship, you stop feeling lonely and desperate. You feel loved, chosen, fulfilled, because in your new timeline, you are. The ritual creates the shift. Your sustained embodiment of the new state makes it permanent. This is where most people mess up. They do the ritual, feel a brief shift, and then immediately go back to thinking, feeling, and acting from the old timeline, and then they wonder why nothing changed. The two-cup method opens the door to the new timeline, but you have to walk through it and stay there. Now let me address some common questions. Can I do this for multiple things? Yes, but not all at once. Do one shift at a time, let it integrate. Then if you want to shift something else, do another ritual for that. Don't try to quantum jump 5 different timelines in one night. Your consciousness needs time to stabilize in the new state. How long does it take to see results? It varies. Some people notice shifts immediately, that same day or night. Others notice changes within a week or two. It depends on how different the timelines are and how much resistance you're carrying. But if you do the ritual with full intention and then actually embody the new state, you will see movement. What if I don't feel anything during the ritual? That's okay. This isn't about getting a mystical experience. It's about creating a clear decision point and symbolic action that your subconscious recognizes. Even if you don't feel fireworks, the shift is still happening if you do it with intention. Can I use this for physical changes like health or appearance? Yes. People have used this for weight loss, healing, energy levels, even perceived physical changes. Your body is part of the quantum field. It responds to shifts in consciousness just like everything else does. What do I do with the cups after? You can keep them as a reminder if you want, or you can just wash them and use them normally. The ritual is complete. The cups served their purpose. Here's what I want you to understand on a deeper level. The two-cup method isn't about the cups. It's not about the water. It's not even about the specific words you write. It's about you making a clear, definitive, irreversible decision to shift states. Most people never really decide. They wish, they hope, they try, they want, but they never truly decide. Deciding means there's no going back. Deciding means the old reality is done and the new reality is now. The two-cup method is a physical representation of that decision. It's you telling your subconscious, the quantum field, the universe, yourself, I am no longer this, I am now that. The shift has occurred, and when you make that kind of definitive decision, reality reorganizes itself to match. Not because you forced it, but because you changed the timeline you're on. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and think interesting. Actually do it. Tonight, before you go to bed, get 2 cups and do the 2 cup method. Pick one thing you want to shift, one state you want to leave, and one state you want to enter. Do the ritual with full presence and intention. And then for the next 7 days, live from the new timeline. Think from it, feel from it, act from it, and watch what happens. Because I'm telling you, this simple 5-minute ritual has created profound shifts for thousands of people. Not because it's magic, but because it creates a clear quantum decision point that your consciousness, your subconscious, and the field all respond to. You are more powerful than you know. You can shift timelines, you can quantum jump, you can change your reality. And sometimes all it takes is 2 cups and 5 minutes. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I will see you in the next video.